Welcome to the Circle of Grace 1 special Spreaker show. The Francis Revels Bay show is just coming on just for a brief moment to share something very interesting with my listening audience. Well, for many of you who may not know, but for many of you who may know, today is the 14th anniversary for my Circle of Grace 1 spiritual and metaphysical ministry. So, I'm coming on to share a little bit more information with you and allow you to receive an unfolding where your spirit can be even uplifted more, where the soul of the essence of you can expand more. And this is an opportunity just to share. I'm also starting from this particular program. I'll be broadcasting longer shows next. The show is going to be a 45-minute show. So this is a great opportunity to be here with you on our special day. The 14th anniversary of the Circle of Grace 1 was founded July 2nd, 1999 AD under the aegis and the anointing of Angel of Grace through divine providence. So this is a very special time. This is the Francis Revels Bay show. I am the host, Chief Principal Teacher, and Founder Bishop Francis E. Revels Bay. So I'm happy to be here and spending a little extra time and give you this extra source of information that you can utilize. And what I wanted to really kick out here for you, to put it here so that you can receive this, I wanted to share something about peace and joy in our lives. And I may have gone over this a little earlier in one of the other programs, but I wanted to kind of bring back. You know, often we're all seeking some level of peace and joy in our daily lives, and there's no one on the face of the Gaia who has not asked this same question, like, how do we go about doing that? How do we have more peace and joy in our lives? But beyond this, the base or core of this is how to manage, how we sometimes, let it escape us, how we manage to let it get by us and find ourselves lacking them all the time or off and on. So we have seen people with great wealth, money, real estate, they travel in the world, etc., and they lack some of these same desires. They're not as happy. And there are others who are. The same goes for people who have a bit less and even not in great health, but yet without. And there's those who have experienced the utter feeling of poverty and lack in their lives. And sometimes, despite that outward appearance of that, they can find somehow a form or an amount of peace and joy in their lives because they're living with simplicity. So they don't take anything for granted. They take life as a sacred thing, a sacred dance. If you look amongst the animal kingdom, well, the animal kingdom in the community in which they have amongst their quote families, they have this kind of inner weather vane that goes on, inner GPS, and they seem to know where to go. They have the smell, they have the hearing, they have the sight, they have the touch. They're able to adapt, and they have evolved to a level where they're adapting all the time to their environment. But what you notice is that they are forever present in their consciousness of the present moment. They're not thinking way out down the line like we do. We're often caught thinking in the past. We're often caught thinking in the plausible future. Not enough in the present moment. That now we are acquiring over these past, I say, 13, 20 years, we're now willing to appreciate the present moment and trying to live a more simplified life, a life full of congestion, not a life full of clutter. Now we're still decluttering. I'm, for one, is still decluttering. I find I have more things than I actually need, or I have my hand in too many operations. I need to just cut back of just a tad. And when you make things simple for yourself, you find yourself having more energy to do more. You have more energy, so you sleep better. You have more energy, so you eat the proper foods for you. You have more energy, so you remember to hydrate yourself all the time. You have more memory, and you open up your memory banks, taking more to record more. So, as we are becoming in this time, learning to be always more present, conscious of this present moment in our lives. It's the moment that we're creating, and we're creating every second of the day. We get a thought, and then we follow that thought up with a feeling. But often we're not paying attention to the kind of feeling that we're mixing with that thought, or the kind of thought that we're mixing with that feeling. Sometimes we're pulling up old data that doesn't work anymore, old experiences that were negative, and we take it with us. We don't obliterate it. We don't delete it. So, we have to be to work more on doing that so that we can become freer, happier, more joyful, calm, more peaceful. And when we can do this, our behavior begins to change. We find ourselves creating action. We see that DNAA, that divine nature, activated and then placed into action. Learning how to be more grateful now, and being where we are. Sometimes we are consumed with trying to be in every place. I had an elder used to tell me, Bishop, it takes 6 months to mind your own business and another 6 months to keep your nose out of someone else's business. That was her way of just saying, focus on yourself. Yourself. Don't put yourself out there to work on other people. Work on you. Work on the issues that you have. Work on the so-called problems and hindrances or delays, and realize none of that is you. That is the outward expression of something that you are doing through thought, through feeling. See, we're spiritual sentient beings, and so we have to keep that in mind. We're always sensing greater streams and ridges of energy, and we're growing more sensitive as things move forward in our lives, to transform ourselves, change that outer appearance. But now we're learning how to go inside to the core issue and make the change right there. This is a special program. We just want to share tidbits of the infinite power of divine grace and how that's moving in our lives. And when we are aware that we can make the changes from the inside out, when we realize that life is happening on the inside of us, then we're able to go directly to the source. We're able to really look at things. Do you remember learning in basic biology class how the eye sees an image and how the images are turned upside down because of the convex lens of the cornea? Well, if you can remember that, then you realize the world that you're looking at outside yourself is pretty much like an illusion. Because on the inside, we're seeing it all right side up, and on the outside, then it must be upside down. We must have this ability to switch things around very quickly. We must have this ability to associate all millions and millions of data being presented to us all the time, and able, through experiences, the mind is able to sift through that and pull in all the data so that we see it in its entirety, so that we can grapple with it, so that we can understand it, so that we can build upon it. So we know at some point that truth prevails. Truth is consistent. Falsehood is. Falsehood is that's finite. That means it has a beginning and it has an end, but truth goes on forever. We are an integral part of the divine presence. We go on forever. this physical form is just here today, gone tomorrow. It's constantly changing. The more we work on that physical body internally, the more rejuvenated, the more vigor, the more energy we're going to have. And we're able to extend the life of the cells longer. Live long. We all live long. We've learned how to take care of ourselves, learn how to attune ourselves, learn how to align ourselves, learn how to communicate clearly, have a clear concept of communication, a clean relationship. When I mean by clean relationship, there's no debris in between us and the other element out here. That's a greater divine essences, that spirit. Physical form separating us from spirit. The auric field is right in the midst of the energy of spirit. And everything around us can feel us. We have to learn to feel it and them. What is them? Other divine in the forms of animals, in the forms of other mammals. We have to learn how to be involved in the communication and how to really relate. This is, as we do this is going to create a better sense of peace, a better sense of joy. And then we realize grace has always caused us to have a sense of ease, relaxation. We don't worry so much. We carry anxieties with us so much. So we learn how to move in the spirit of grace. I call it divine grace because it's that which is infinite. We're not cooking it up. It is. We're not cooking it up. It's grace is if it comes through the state of generosity. It comes through the state of kindness. It comes through the state of remembrance. It comes through the state of total action and being in the moment. It comes through the state of creativity, knowing that everything is eternal. Everything is in motion. I just spelled it out. GRACE. This is present, always on. We just have to get back in touch, like our original ancestors. Get back in touch with the rhythm of wind, fire, air, earth, metal, and other energies. We're spiritual sentient beings, and the more we can remember that, the greater shall be for ourselves and our communities, for our loved ones, our families, our friends, our companions, our children. We will be able to go back, not in the past, but go in to the depths of the throne of grace and move with it and dance with it and be with it. And above all, no strings attached, we express love. With no strings attached, we are expressing what we call unconditional love. That means you're able to accept the person just as they are. You're not trying to put them in a box. You're not trying to make that to your scheme of life. You're seeing them, and they are molding and creating themselves along their path, just like you are. It is perhaps your hope or their hope that you can come in one accord with each other, that you understand each other, meaning that you the processes that you took, the various stages that you took to evolve to where you are right now. So you see, we're looking to move forward in our lives. We're looking to be better in our lives. So peace and joy becomes an integral part of inner peace and enjoyment. See, one of the things that we're learning to get rid of is not get involved in superstitions. That's when people start putting their own mechanisms, their own beliefs on something without having a direct experience. That's when, like, stories can be passed along, and a lot of things can be thrown into those stories where the storyteller may not even have experienced the story. The storyteller may have embellished the truth a little bit just to capture your attention. And somewhere down the line, someone believed in this and believed in that. But belief is not to know. We have to step into the realm of faith. Faith is when you know something works and it works consistently. That's faith. It puts you in the spirit of doing, you see. Because in order to accept that level of truth, you got to be a part of it. When you have the experience of it, then you become the totality of that truth. The full materialization of that truth is your life. So everything is manifested in spirit, but it has to be manipulated from the spirit into the mental self, emotional self, down into the material self. When it matriculates, that means it goes through all its processes and comes to maturity, then it's ready. You go to college and they talk about matriculate those amount of credits per class, but you got to stay in there. You like in an incubation tank when you become a freshman. Then you step up and become the sophomore. But that's when you have a little bit more, not as fresh. You're not as just brand new. Now you're taking on wisdom. You're taking on knowledge. And you're developing an understanding. Step into the junior realm. Junior is what? It's like the little master. And then you step into the senior realm. You're getting close to be a more matured senior to become a master, to want the mastering part. So, even in those stages, a 2-year college, a 4-year college, and it goes on to masters and PhDs, you're constantly matriculating, creating matter, creating more matter, researching the matter that is in front of you, moving that matter till you become what? When you graduate, is called alma mater, the mother. Who's the mother that created that matter? That matter came from mother. This is one big. So it's the same here. You're seeking to create within yourself a palatious, infinite realm and consciousness where inner peace has been planted, and inner peace is now in joy. The joy is inside, not on the outside. The joy develops on the inside. So in the beauty and harmony of divine grace, you realize through all of your dealings, or all of your levels of communication, all your levels of relationships, you have been what? Working it from the inside, and you learn to enjoy the process. You don't learn to take on too much extraneous, let me just drop that word. You don't take on a whole lot of stuff you don't need. That's the whole idea. Don't take on a whole bunch of stuff you don't need. Keep it for yourself. Work on the basics with yourself. Don't really worry about how other people are doing it too much, because each being here, yourself included, has within you a divine map already there. And you're getting back to the source of that map so you can do what? Live the process. Live the dream. You know, many Aboriginal shamans have said eons ago that the life you are in right now, that you find yourself at right now, is a life that you dreamt a long time ago. That's right, in your deepest moments of your sleep, you dreamt that. You dreamt that experience. You thought about it. And what you didn't realize is you kept thinking about it, and you kept adding more thoughts to it. And then you started coloring thoughts, right? And coloring the images, right? You started putting conversation that maybe has been there, or maybe it wasn't there, but you started adding all of that energy. You gave it fuel. And now you find yourself living it out. But what we are learning to do is that in the midst of the dream, there is a vision. There's something that we see. We can pull out a vision. And that's why you go in, you had the end. You see it on the inside of the dream. The dream has a lot of symbols going on, but there's vision in it that's consistent. And what you're attempting to do is dive into the heart of that dream and come out with the vision where you can see your way clearly, where you begin to align and attune yourself so the divine essence, the divine presence of who you really are, can carry you through. You're this divine source, a part of the infinite and infinite. And everything you're doing is happening on the inside. So that's why you're really not your problems. You're not your sorrow, you're not your grief, you're not your sadness, you're not your ill, you're not your anger. Those are just expressive energies of things that were going on that were out of balance with yourself. So focus on being in a higher vibrational energy with your thoughts and feelings. This is very important. Focus on being in a high vibrational energy with your thoughts and feelings. Now, if your thoughts and feelings are a higher rate, that isn't on the same level with you, not on the same, it moves away, or you move away from it, or you rise above it. This is why you could speak to many entertainers and athletes and politicians and people who've gained wealth who came out of nowhere. As I heard again says, he came out of dirt. He came out of a rough existence. Now he's a multi-millionaire and he's in movies and he's doing everything else. But now, over the past couple of years, he's grateful for those rough times. It's helped him move on. He didn't realize that he was okay. He wasn't broken. He wasn't defeated. These are just experiences, life experiences, and he had to learn to identify all, extricate himself from it, and seek that which is positive. So when you focus on being in a higher vibrational energy with your thoughts and feelings, then you take on what? A greater sense of well-being. When you thoroughly understand this premise, you shall begin to see and experience, and the results will be very positive. As I say, you shall always be in alignment and attunement with and more through the infinite power of divine grace, which you later will discover is the foundation for all things in your life. This is what I shared with you. I wanted to let you know that all day, this was the 14th anniversary for my Circle of Grace 1, which is a spiritual and metaphysical ministry founded on July the 2nd, 1999 AD, under the aegis and the anointing of the angels. And that number 1 at the end, many people ask me, they always say, well, is yours the Circle of Grace or the Circle of One? No, the one was for the very first person in my life in this time, whose name was Grace, and that was my mother. So the Circle of Grace 1 is really an honor to that great mother in my life, my mother, Grace V. Revels, who was all along teaching about grace, or her name, Grace. And I hadn't a clue that this is the direction I was going to be traveling in. Then in 1999, I had a visitation from the Angel of Grace. And I've had other visitations from angels like Archangel Michael in 1981 in the spring, middle of the spring of 1981. But I had the Angel of Grace come to me specifically on July the 2nd, 1999 AD, and Circle of Grace 1 was found. I had no idea that this is what my late mother really wanted to have. So the torch has been passed, and I'm putting this torch, shining it as bright as I can. We are now stepping here into the land of enchantment, which I like to call it the land of infinite possibilities. We're now doing out here an evening with Brother Francis on the last Friday of every month at a place called Awaken to Wellness on the east side of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And now I had an opportunity to go to Los Lunas, New Mexico, and do an afternoon with Brother Francis. And what it involves is take people on a guided journey through one of my original Creative Pathwork meditations. I go on the journey as well. I bring everyone out of that journey, and I know that's it. And I go around and give everyone of spiritual insight about themselves, about what's going on in their life or with it. And then each person gets an opportunity to walk away with a small scroll. And this scroll is a grace remembrance scroll. It has an affirmation on there, or maybe some keywords or a decree. But it allows that person to grow from that moment on. Sometimes they're emotional wellness healing. I like to call it a balance. The angel of grace expresses herself through me, and we release the energy out of them. People having a sense of anxiety or grief, carrying around emotion. So, if you'd like to be in touch with me, you can simply email me, Bishop Francis, at circleofgrace1.net. That's BISHOPFRANCIS at circleofgrace1 at the end.net. Send me an email to the letters IAM.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end at yahoo.com, or iam.circlegrace1 at gmail.com. You can also Skype me. Look for me through Skype as Brother Francis Revels Bay, or Skype this phone number, 973-685-597, or you can call my spiritual prayer meditational decree request line and listen to it. It's quite long, it's about 2 minutes long, a special all-purpose decree at 55717. That's 505-717-472. Well, I'm going to see you on Monday, next Monday, and I'm going to be back next Monday, July the 8th at 12 p.m. right here at Spreaker.com for the Francis Revels Bay Show with another episode of Circle of Grace 1. This was just a special program that I wanted to offer today, because this is the 14th anniversary of my Circle of Grace 1, a spiritual and metaphysical ministry. Well, until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing, as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you real soon.